Hello everyone. Today we are talking about The Other Woman on Amazons. Welcome. Now, Nigerians, we do not like to talk about things we deem unsavory. Dolako, Aisha, you bear me out.
Yes.
We have a culture of sweeping everything under the carpet. I mean, I never had my mother, we didn't have that sex talk that everybody talks about, that you see in all the movies, you read in all the books. It does not happen here. I can just imagine my mom sitting in front of me trying to talk about sex. I mean, and there's so many other things that we just generally do not talk about. But today, we're specific, we're talking about, yes, Nigerians, the other woman. Now, Dolako, I know you have facts and figures. I can tell you're bursting to give us facts and figures. Let's hear it.
Okay. Well, I think the first thing we need to ask ourselves is, who is the other woman?
That's
Yes.
from the beginning.
From the beginning, yes, because honestly, at one time or the other, every woman has been the other woman.
Well, I have not.
Perhaps you never knew.
Well, maybe. Yeah, very, I agree. Very,
You never knew.
very possible.
Never knew.
Very correct, Dolako.
True.
Every woman, at one point or the other,
Has been the other woman.
Or the other woman.
True.
I mean, the other woman is, it affects us, women, so badly. It affects the family, it breaks relationship, it breaks marriages, and yet we do not talk about it.
Yes.
Today we are going to talk about the other
Yes.
woman. The other woman is not only the other woman. The other woman can be the mother-in-law.
Exactly.
Well, yes, she can be. Yes.
The other woman can be a sister.
Exactly.
And the other woman can also be somebody that you live with in the same
Compound.
Exactly. The other woman is any woman who affects your home, who affects your life, affects your relationship, and has
Negative.
detrimental effect
Yeah.
on your life.
We're looking too serious. I mean, I know we are talking about something extremely serious, but there's comedy to this as well. You know, when it's the mother-in-law, it does bring, I mean, home videos have done that over and over and over again. I think they've bitten that particular aspect of it to death. Because it can be comic. I mean, you have your mother-in-law who's a rival to you because she wants to maintain or retain the affections of her son. And you're the other girl from God knows where who is taking away her son.
It's a very delicate
Oh, yeah.
thing
In Africa.
to deal with when you
Yeah.
have the mother-in-law
As the other woman.
Yeah.
Because the affection of a son
Yeah.
toward his mother,
Yeah.
is something that you cannot break.
Yes.
The son's love may be different from what he has for his mother to
Yeah.
what he has for his
His
wife
wife, yeah.
or his girlfriend, but then you cannot break that bond.
Yes.
So you really, as a woman, you have to try and see which way you can balance this rivalry between you and
And
your
your
mother.
mother-in-law. In Africa, we raise the kids. We give them the principles that they live by. We teach them everything that they know. So why is it that we breed our sons to be different from our daughters?
The society permits it.
Yes, it
It's
does.
Africa. The society permits it. You can never hear about a woman marrying two men, even abroad.
In Ghana.
But
Somewhere in Ghana it happens.
But in Africa, it's something that people tend to overlook and say things like, well, if he's doing his duties and he's looking after the children, then it's okay. You know, you just stay where you are.
You see, the other woman may not necessarily be in the home. It may not even be a wife. The other woman is just that person who has a presence and the control
Over
of the
your
emotion
home.
and love of your partner from the outside. He may not even marry the other woman. But at what point does a man own up to having another woman in his life?
I'll tell you what I found.
how
The
does
part
that
that
happen?
the part that hurts me in all this, I'll let you go back. Is the damage to the woman, because if it's another woman, everybody tells you you're not managing things properly. It's you that's always wrong. It's you that has done something wrong. It's you that you're not holding your marriage together. There's always the blame is always, especially
woman.
here in
the
Africa,
woman.
on the woman.
To you.
Even for those women who have worked hard to look like when they were still single, even after having 2 or 3 kids, they still have their husbands with roving eyes, and some people want to put that to that it's nature for the man, it's natural for the man.
But we
It's,
breed
the
our
man
boys like
was
that.
created to be adventurous.
Women
with
are the ones
women,
that taught boys
you know?
such things. Women, yeah, the parents, look at it. Your daughter brings a boy into the house at 16. What will you do?
Well, we were not allowed when we were young.
Exactly. Now, your son brings a girl to the house. It's all right. It's okay. It's fine. And that is where you start to show them the difference that for women, you have to close your legs. That's what close your legs mean. When they say sit properly, they hit you.
Yes.
I mean, protect your womanhood. But for the guys, your guy brings in one girl today, brings in another one the next day, and then the father is telling his boy, "Whoa, that's my boy."
my boy.
You're teaching him that that's the way to live.
Yeah,
He
but
knows
you-
no better.
But Bimbo, you have to understand one thing. You see, all those things, as far as I'm concerned, are relative. You understand? There are people who do that, and at the same time, there are people who wouldn't tolerate it.
You know the interesting thing about this? The other woman is a woman.
Just like
So the other woman
the
is
main
a woman.
woman.
So it is coming back to the woman. If a woman knows that a man is happily married, a man has a home,
Happily.
a man has children that he loves,
Yes.
and you still are amenable to that kind of arrangement, then the woman still, has a responsibility to look out and after the other woman.
Okay, both of you. I think we will never agree on a definite way to treat the other woman or accept or whatever it is, whoever the other woman is, your mother-in-law, whoever. But we'll be right back and we're going to talk much, much more about this. You can see that Dalakwa and Aisha are about to, come to blows on the different views of how to treat the other woman.
At some point, I had to tell her, okay, no, you know what, you can't sleep with me this night.
The man
comfort
became
zone.
an exit zone.
Yes.
Thank you. Welcome back. This is still Amazons, and we are still talking about the other woman. We have a guest in the house tonight, a very special lady. I'm inspired by her strength. And you'll understand what I'm saying very soon. Please, everyone, a round of applause for Mrs. Mercy Ahize. Hi, darling. Woo. How are you? Please.
Thank you.
All right, Mercy, my first question. I said Mrs. Mercy Ahize. Should I introduce you as Mrs. Mercy Ahize?
Yes, because I've come to know the name and love the name, so. And I've not, how do they say it?
Change
I've
it.
not reverted to my maiden name yet.
Mercy, could you tell us a little bit about your story?
Oh, okay. I got married immediately after school when I finished from the university. I got married that same year to my husband. I had known him for a year. He had 4 kids before I married him. He was divorced. He was a divorcee for 7 years before we met, and then we got married. We lived together for 9 years. But you see, I now realize that there was a point in our relationship towards the end of the 9 years that where he travels, I'm very happy. I don't know what that could have been, but I was always at peace with myself. Well, maybe towards the end of his travel, I'll be looking forward to seeing him because he's been away for about a week. But once he comes back and he's in the house for 2 days, I become apprehensive. Not because, he was, not because he was a difficult, well, no, let me not say a difficult person, not because we were always quarreling or something, but it was because he used to have mood swings. He became really difficult to live with.
And you have
So-
kids as well?
Yes, I have two children for him.
That's 6 children in the same household.
Yes.
This your ex had 4 kids and he was
Yes.
divorced.
Yes.
What happened? They got divorced for what reason?
Well, his story was that the lady, was sleeping around with his friends. He used to do a lot of what do they call it now? Juju,
African jazz.
jazz, a lot of jazz and all that, which was collaborated by his friends. I wouldn't have expected anything, and his family at that time. My dad tried to you know, tried to stop it. But at that point, I was at a point where I just had to leave the house because I had a stepmom that was on my neck, and it was really a complicated point of my life.
Yeah.
So I just needed a break, and
You
I think
were
that
at a
he just
vulnerable
he
point.
just came by
You were
that
just
at
there,
that time.
yeah.
Can I ask you a question? Did you love him?
Yes, I did.
You
I
did
did.
or you do?
I do.
You still love him?
I think I do, but you know, I think we have to draw a line here. We have to draw a line here. Yes, I still do love him. I have 2 kids for him. I don't have it straight in my head what love really means right now. But I have feelings for him. I still have feelings for him.
So if there is a possibility of reconciliation, you would go back, wouldn't you?
There is where the problem lies, because you know I have so as far as I'm concerned, there's a lot of water under the bridge. A lot of water has gone under the bridge now. It's been a year. I don't know if to call it remarried, but he has a woman living with him right now in the house, and I have my own life to live as well. I've moved on, so to speak.
No, you haven't moved on. You know why? Because you're talking about having feelings for him,
Yes, I still
loving him. Then you still, it's a difficult, really, it's a difficult point in one's life if you are attached emotionally.
I just want to pinpoint something that I think is very important. Now, going back to when we first started, remember what I said about the acceptance.
But she had that.
I'm listening to
She
her.
had that.
And you see, we need to, the whole point is to try and shed light on the things that are important. We know the other woman exists. If you listen to the story and everything, now, there was a reason. 1, she was young. Number 2, they courted for a year before they got married.
But we're on and off for 9 years.
No, they're
No,
married
we
for
were
9 years.
married for 9 years.
Are you
She
kidding
has
me?
2
And-
children.
Yes, she has 2 kids.
No, we were married for 9 years.
She
Sorry.
was married for 9 years, but she courted the man before they got married for a year.
a year.
Now, one of the
Okay.
reasons she was very young as well, she was already experiencing the other woman where she was, and she needed, the man
comfort
became
zone.
an exit zone.
Yes.
An exit
So
for
to
her. And then she walked into it. Now, if we go back to the fact where we say we need to teach our children and concentrate more and tell them that the other woman does exist, and these are the things that you need to deal with, and these are the ways that you should deal with it. I mean, even if she was in that relationship, from what she said, they were living apart. Now, that's a grant for the other woman. Let's be honest.
No,
they weren't
no,
living
we weren't. We weren't living
You
apart.
used to travel a lot, and
Hey,
you
when
have
they
to.
were,
Yes.
you courted for a year, then
Yeah,
they got
then we
married,
got
and then
married.
at one point she realized that when he leaves the house, she's happy. When he's gone off for a business trip, she's happy.
Those are signs.
you know,
That's what I'm
Those are
saying. Yes,
signs.
those are
Signs of
signs. Signs.
acceptance.
But
You see,
Donako, you see, acceptance. Even she accepted it.
concerned.
But look at this.
I'm concerned
The
now.
other woman is now your mother. That's also
I'm
a
concerned
different.
with all this discussion, Bimbo and Dolapo, that the man has moved on. You haven't. The man has another woman living with him already. You do not. You are still talking about having feelings, about love, which means that you need to accept the fact that there is no possibility of reconciliation here anymore.
Yes,
Except
I know.
now you want to be the other woman.
No,
to the woman that's already
no,
at home.
Okay, so let me ask
I
you.
have.
Now, I will ask you. If he comes back today and he's repentant,
And he's
and
repentant.
he begs,
And he begs.
would
know.
you go back?
No, I won't. I'm in a relationship right now.
All right.
I'm in a relationship
That's-
right now.
I'm
So
proud of
I'm-
you here.
for the kids.
In fact, we need to clap for that.
trust me, 1 year is a long time. A long time. A long time of grief, a long time of crying, a long time of, hard feelings,
Heartache.
a long time of heartache, a long time of, even sometimes you're suicidal.
That's right.
You're really, really suicidal. 1 year is a long time. And if I'm able to move on after 1 year, yes, I still have feelings for him. Yes, sometimes I still feel it. Sometimes when I see something that reminds me of him, I remember, and it keeps coming back. And for the rest of your life, my dear, it will still come back. That's why I said that no
But you
amount
have-
of
but you
education
have
would
taken the
prepare
time
you.
to process it.
I
You
have.
cried when you needed to cry.
Oh, please.
You
I
locked
have.
yourself away when you needed to lock yourself away.
Very well.
And you're at
But
the
you
point
see,
where
the
you're
thing
coming
is,
out now and
but
you're holding your head out.
Exactly,
You're ready to face
exactly.
the world.
Part of
But you
dealing
see, the
with
thing
it
is-
and moving on is
Also
going
support,
into
I think.
yes.
Also support.
That's what I was going to say.
Is to
When
go
you have,
another
when you have,
relationship, and
Support
you
is
know,
also
move,
very
move on
important.
from there.
and then of course you have your family around you.
Exactly.
You have your,
Yeah.
you have
She's
your
a very
friends,
pretty girl,
trusted
tall
friends
and
around
beautiful.
you.
So she has everything.
So
going for
I
her,
mean,
and she's still
everything
young.
has to work together for you to be able to move on.
Exactly.
Yes.
You can't just do it yourself.
Oh, yes.
You need people around you. You need people to encourage you every day.
then
And I had a
you
lot
need
of
to
that.
forgive as well.
Yes,
You
of
need
course
to
you
forgive,
have to
because
get
you
to
the
that
release
point.
of forgiveness.
Yes, you have to get to that point where you can actually forgive him. I see him now. I talk to him. We talk, and then we
that's
just
good.
there's no
So
hard feelings.
how about your children? Are they with you or with him?
They're with me. I
Okay,
took my
so
children.
does
that
it,
by choice?
That was by my choice. I took my children with me. I had to because
Naturally.
I'd seen him with his. Of course, I went in there when he had. I married him with 4 kids.
Yeah.
And if I must say this, one of the very strong reasons why I married him, apart from the fact that I really needed to move, but I could have moved into my sister's house. I could have moved in with, you know, a friend. Because I was ready to leave
Okay.
Calabar at that point. I could move. But you see, he had a 7-year-old child
Okay.
that was just so sweet. And when I remember myself in my father's house, the things I'd gone through in my father's house, I just saw myself in that girl.
Okay.
And you know, at a point, she used to, if I go there, she would just crawl into my tummy and just roll up, and she wouldn't want to go. At some point, I had to tell her, okay, no, you know what, you can't sleep with me this night. And she would start crying. So I think that was one of the reasons why I was like, okay, why don't I just, let me give something
Back to this child.
back to this child. That was how I felt. Before I now, you know, began to process in my mind that, because I was quite young, because before I could process in my mind that, oh, I was actually getting married, I was going to be with this man for the rest of my life, I need to start, you know, loving him. So it was a gradual process. It wasn't something that, oh, I wasn't in love. That was love at that crap. It wasn't for me. It was a gradual process.
Okay. You grew to love him.
I grew to love him.
Okay.
Now, can I ask a question? Because for me, I'm always, you know, very sensitive about children. How old is she now, and how is she taking it, the little girl?
Okay, I have a 5-year-old. She'll be 6 in November, and then I have a 3-year-old. It's really hard for them.
And the other
It is.
children?
The other ones, oh my goodness, they cry every day. Because we went like, I wasn't there as their mother. I was there like their friend. Yes, I used to be their mother when I needed to be, but I was more their friend and a sister to them. So every time we speak, in fact, the other time my 5-year-old called the second girl, and she was talking to her, she started crying. And she said, oh, mommy, I want to come back. They call me mommy. I want to come back, but I can't come back until, because they are in London, until something happens. Something has to happen for me to come back. I want you to be where I want to be able to see you when I want to see you.
Family,
Yes,
obviously,
family, yes,
setting.
yes. So it's really, really hard. They are really taking it.
Okay.
You know.
Okay, so what about your ex now? How often does he contact the children?
I had to force it on him. But now I think he's trying. He comes once in a month, once in 2 months, when it's necessary, when he feels like.
Does it take responsibility for
Financially.
for the obligations?
Financially. He's trying now.
Okay.
The whole of last year, of course not. But, you know, after I started,
The whole of last year. Now, let me take this back. You got married right out from school. You didn't work.
yes, and he refused for me to.
To work.
To work, yeah.
So you now, after 9 years in a marriage, where you've been a housewife, you now leave with your kids, and there was no financial support whatsoever.
Or, yeah.
No. I
How on
think
earth did you?
I think maybe what he was trying to do was trying to box me into a corner where I'll have to crawl back. I think that was what he was trying to do. But when he saw that I wasn't going to be put in that corner.
That must have been a difficult situation.
Yes, it was.
I mean, looking at the economic situation in Nigeria and the world at large, finding a job, do you have a job now?
I'm self-employed.
Really, what do you do?
I own a restaurant.
Wow, please.
Good job. Good job. Good job.
That is fantastic.
It's nice to have people like this who
Come up
has
and
been
talk
through it
and help other people.
you know, who can talk about it. She's been through it. She understands exactly what it is. And you know what? She's got 2 beautiful, lovely kids. She's
Absolutely.
got it going for her, and she's still absolutely
Gorgeous.
stunning. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for sharing
Thank you
your
so
story
much.
with us,
Thank
for
you very
being
much.
here.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. I'm glad you.
Not I have said, I know that there are days I wake up and I look at my husband, I just want to kill him.
Isn't there a sure way that we can keep our homes together? Welcome back. We are having a very emotional day today because this is something that affects the whole society, not just the homes, because everybody in a home is part of the society. Dolapo, Aisha, for me, I can't even express how I feel right now as a woman. Just thinking about going through all that. What do you think? How do we know when there's another woman? Because I've spoken to some women who say they never do. I never felt anything. I didn't realize. Do you think that's possible? Is it possible for a woman who's been married to a man for a particular time not to know that there's some other woman out there?
The intuition
Female intuition.
is always
Our
is there.
intuition.
Intuition, and then the signs are also there.
What are the
Some women just refuse to notice those signs. The signs are you know the schedule of your husband, and the schedule begins to change, you know, without notice, excuses for things that were normally taken for granted. It becomes
Gifts are part of the sign.
yes, gifts.
All
You
of a sudden
know,
he comes home and he gives you this really expensive jewelry. Said, no, there's something
you spend
wrong
time
somewhere.
together. Things that you talk about before now become a nagging. You now suddenly become
nag.
it's now you are nagging. These were things that you could talk about before, you have a good laugh about. You know, the signs are always there, and I think that women sometimes are too soaked up in wanting to keep the family together, and they just build this wall around the signs and pretend the signs are not there, that this is not happening.
We have another guest with us today, and she's been married for 20 years. That's a long time. Now, she must come and talk to her about, there must be some sort of magic. Because, you know, look at Nigeria today. Marriage is not like it used to be.
Yes.
So we are going to invite Mrs. Nyong Basi Iyang. We're group hugging you. Group hug for 20 years.
I'm large enough.
A lot of you to go around. Please sit.
Thank you.
20 years. I'm not going to ask you how old you are. You never ask a lady.
She wouldn't speak.
But you can't be that much older than I am. 20 years, ma'am.
Child prostitute.
They can hear you. So tell us, do you have kids?
Yes, I have 2 kids, a girl and a boy.
Okay. How old is the girl? How's the boy?
She's 19 next month. Wow. And my son is 13.
And tell me, you've been together for 20 years, and I know men always say this thing. Women don't say it. You can never eat the same kind of soup every day. You need variety. So, madam, why is your ogbono still selling?
Well, I have learned over the years to come up with new ways of making ogbono.
Oh, I like.
Put variety in your
Yes.
So that's a secret for keeping
Yes,
your man at
don't serve
home.
the same ogbono all the time on the same plate, in the same position.
Okay.
Color it a bit sometimes. Sometimes take away the color.
You can put okra in
Very
sometimes.
cool.
Yeah. Pomo today, beef
Stockfish.
tomorrow.
But 20 years is a long time. So tell me, well, in Nigeria of today, 20 years
No,
is.
seriously, no, on a more serious note.
No,
now.
she was talking seriously.
She was.
I know.
The message was clear.
Claire,
I
and I
know,
got
I
the
know.
message.
Yes.
So everybody, change your ogbono. It's important.
Not the same ogbono all the time.
I know, I mean, that is the key thing. We all know that and everything. But at the end of the day, I am sure, staying with someone for 20 years is like, to me, I always say it's like wearing the same pair of shoes over and over and over again.
Yeah, it pinches sometimes.
Exactly.
And you get tired.
Exactly. So you must have other ways of, dealing with
Coping.
those mornings, and,
Well, I know I've had cause to talk to people, about relationships. Unfortunately, we women are not allowed to express ourselves. That's why when you watch crime stations, you see it's always a woman who snaps.
Yeah.
It's not the man.
Yeah.
Because the man can go out and sample,
of course.
You keep
and
it
it's allowed.
Yeah.
Nobody looks at him and says, what a prostitute. Oh, but you woman tried. Even your friends who you would have expected to understand, won't understand.
Yeah.
They will tell you things like, oh, it's the woman's place to keep the family together. Nobody ever says it's the man's place. I don't know why.
Because we tend to do much more
We-
when it comes to the home front.
That's right.
It's always the woman.
So are we saying in this 20 years we've not had, the other woman?
No. Let's be realistic.
Yeah.
I have, and then I think I heard you guys were talking about
Mother-in-law.
No, there's
sisters,
the other woman
cousins.
in everything. There's the other man, the other woman, the other. They come in form of your mother-in-law, his sisters, even the kids, if you want the kids to interfere.
Yeah.
Friends, his friends,
Yeah.
male and female friends, his work. So there are so many instances, so many things that. But what I always think is, first and foremost, I try as much as possible to notice stuff. You will always know. There's no way you won't know when your man is about to stray. Or is beginning to, he's straying, about to stray, or he's already in the stray. Now it's whether or not you want to try and get the man back.
Yeah.
I've had instances where I've had to go crying to my friends. Can you imagine, But now the difference, because what they always say to me is, okay, at least he will come back and beg Abi. That's what most wives would say, or most people would say, oh, but he begged you. He at least said he was sorry. What about the ones who have never said I'm sorry? You understand? So that happens. I also have friends, married, single friends. You have the same problems. Whether you're married, you're single, a relationship is a relationship. It's the man. I always look and say it is the man who is the person. Because the woman would not feel bold enough, or the other person wouldn't feel bold enough to encroach into your space if the man doesn't open himself to it.
I mean,
So it's the man first.
There's no
And then,
crack in the wall.
Yeah.
you can't get that person trying to come in.
Because I know some men who are really, they play around.
Nasty.
But they
Yeah, but
play
they come
around
back
a lot.
home.
But
They don't
the
joke.
home is
Sacrosanct.
Sacrosanct. It's a
Nobody
no-go
comes
area.
in there.
They hold their family in such high esteem that if the other woman knows what's good for her, this is.
Don't even go there.
It's not a relationship that you can take further or take anywhere. And then they pull back. There are such men. But for those who get sucked into this relationship, for those whose family is, can be compromised, how do you keep such men from returning home and letting go of this other woman, from your experience?
First, I don't think you can stop a man from doing what he wants to do.
Yeah.
Forget about the ogbono, different ogbono things and stuff. If a man wants to stray, he will stray. Whether or not you're giving him different ogbonos and different egusi, he will stray. Some people are just serial strays.
Well, yeah.
Desserts.
One must have a starter.
Yeah.
And a dessert.
Really.
Meal and dessert.
Really.
And then sometimes, we women, we don't try. But a whole lot of times, we try.
Yeah.
But I mean, if a man is going to stray, he's going to stray. So you just pray and hope that when he strays, he will come back without added things, like the other woman come in, meet you, throw you, or bring some bad diseases home and give to you.
Goodness gracious.
Children.
Or children.
Okay, well, no, bring kids. But I won't take kids, really. Because there's nothing, the only times you can get away with things like that is if maybe the child's mother died, God forbid, you know. Then you can bring the child home and say, oh, I'm sorry, oh, mistake, oh, waka, open leg, something happened, pikin enter. Then you know that the child is yours. But when there's the mother outside,
It's competition.
it is so complicated.
Yeah.
How do you go about it?
Yeah.
It's not an easy thing. So I mean, it's not what you want to encourage.
How do you deal with this kind of scenario that you've painted now? You know the other woman is there. You know it's like a second home. You know this other woman already has a home that is competing with your home, and yet you do not want to leave your home for the sake of your children. You still love your
that's the
husband.
problem.
So how do you find a balance?
Because I was going to say I will not be in that home. I mean, if you can't, I'm a person too. What I always think is, you do me, I will do you back person, really. Even my husband says it,
Okay.
you know. I really cannot think of the fact that you would go out, have an affair. It's bad enough if you have one and I don't see the evidence. Then you come home with evidence. I really will be so pained. I don't think I'll be able to stay there. You know, a lot of things will change. I don't
it is a
think
betrayal of
yes,
trust.
a lot of things will change.
Yeah.
You would never be able to trust the man again.
Yes.
And then, well, the kind of person I am, my husband will never be able to trust me because he knows, oh God, this woman, what is she up to?
Do me a
You know, so I mean, but you know, really, you don't know what would happen until you're in that position. We all pray we don't get into that position. You don't know, but I know that I would like not to be there. I wouldn't want to be in that relationship.
Okay.
I'm looking at you every day and looking at your child from that other woman. And I'm thinking to myself, what did he say to her? Because he would have had to say something to her.
Yeah.
You
What
know?
does he say?
Yeah,
Is it the
what
same
he's
things
saying
he
to
says
her.
To me?
Is
Yeah,
it?
that's
Yeah.
a lot.
But do you know something? I think there was a survey that was carried out, and I think somewhere in the Western country, and what they said, they asked a lot of women about what actually upsets you about when a man has an affair or where there's another woman or something, and it came back, and a lot of women were like, it's actually not the actual
the act of having
actually having an intimacy. It's just the fact that there is another woman who shares your time.
Yes.
You talk to, who knows what you like. You know, someone who knows your
Who's
mind.
hearing the same, maybe the same words that
You
you've
know,
heard?
Who is sharing your own?
Basically, and
Really.
a lot of women were like, that is actually what breaks them down, and that is what they consider as, you know, as there's another woman, not actually the physical other woman. It's just the fact that there's someone else who knows you as intimately as, you know, the wife is supposed to, or whoever is, you know, the girlfriend is
In a
supposed to know
situation
you.
like this, there's another woman, serious or not serious. What do you do? Are there tricks to bring this man back home? Do we say, don't talk about it so he doesn't say you're nagging, pretend it didn't happen? Or bring it out in the open? Or what?
I don't think there's a trick to it. Because you could keep quiet and they'll say, oh, okay, she doesn't know about it, so I can keep going about it. Yeah. And it just gets worse. Because you're not saying anything, you're not doing anything. The guy is just, he feels like, oh, okay, I can get away with stuff.
Yeah.
You could talk, and they say, oh, she talks too much. He threw the man out of the house. What do? You really don't, I think two relationships can never be the same.
Yes.
What works for me doesn't necessarily work for you. If I feel my husband is straying, and I talk to him, I say, come on, uncle, this thing you are doing, alpha, you know? More often than not, he would, but who says he would? What if he says, okay, what you want to hear, and he goes right back and does it? I don't have a problem with you doing what you're doing. I have a problem with it, but I don't have a problem with you doing what you're doing. But we've also realized, we've come to realize that more often than not, the other woman on the outside is looking at you as the other woman as well. You're keeping my love from me.
Exactly.
As a rival.
And then she now begins to do things. And oh God, we women do things.
Yes.
I always tell guys, you guys are lucky. You've not met that woman
Yes.
who has decided that, okay, This man is my own. You know, there's nothing you're going to do about it.
Yeah.
I want you and I'm going to take you.
Yes.
So when she does that, and then she decides that the wife in the house,
It's a
or the
problem.
girlfriend who is the girlfriend everybody knows, or the children, are the things that are stopping you from giving to her what she wants.
Yes.
What if she decides to do something about it?
And there is no length desperate women wouldn't go to.
Yes.
Yeah,
And that's when a woman becomes desperate.
And when you talk to the man about it, they look at you and they're like, But,
drama.
I mean, I always tell guys, the way you men react to certain things are not the ways we women. In fact, I think that's why women live longer, because you step on my toe, I would not forget. But the men are likely to forget and move on. And the very next day, they'll keep their toe there again, and you step on it a second time.
Yes.
But we women, we don't forget. Please, we take that to our graves. We remember, I might forget the pain. No, I don't forget the pain. I might ignore the person briefly, you know, but I would not forget.
Yeah, we don't
So
forget.
when you're passing by me tomorrow, I will push
Move
my
my
little
leg.
foot in so you don't step on it.
Once again, yes.
So guys don't, I mean, I think they always say women are fickle. I think it's guys who are fickle, really.
So as a way forward, sorry, Dolapo, as a way forward, do you suggest that a wife or girlfriend accept the other woman as part of a relationship or
Why?
a family?
Why? Even the northern women who were groomed to know that they would have a second wife or be a second wife or a third or a fourth, don't take it anymore. I don't think there's any woman really on earth, I don't think it happens, who is happy to share.
No.
I don't think so. I got married when I was really pretty young, you know.
Yeah, that's
and I
another
grew
thing.
up with my husband. We grew up together.
Okay.
And I have grown into my own. I have my ideas. We are always fighting. He's always telling me I'm a liberated woman, you know. Always, I don't, like I said to him recently, I said, I might say, oh, what she's done is right. But I'll tell my friend later, how far? You know, between the both of us, we know how far. But I'm not going to come out in public and say to you, that thing she did was bad. Or that thing he did was good. Or whatever, you know.
Okay, but after 20 years, I know the relationship must have gone through stages, because most relationships go, you have what I call the honeymoon flush.
Yeah.
The first, 6 months to 1 year, 1 year and a half. And after that, everything just sort of settles down into a routine. How do...
Actually, Bimbo, to come in on that, actually, in a marriage, in a relationship, you said 6 months to 1 year. In a marriage, I think it's called the 7 years old rule.
Yeah, I think it's
7
it's
years.
more than
It's
Okay,
7
okay, talking
years.
about relationship. Sorry, for me,
The
relationship.
testing period is
So,
it's a 7
okay,
years hurdle.
after that period is gone and everything becomes routine, how do you spice it up? How do you help it? How do you make sure that it is not boring? Because we know routine can be boring for both parties.
In that case, I say again, people are different. What works for me might not work for you. I remember one time when my husband travels and he's not around, I'll be very unhappy. And then when he comes back, I would be so excited, you know. Then at some point, there was one time he wasn't in town for a long period. It used to be, okay, when he's traveling, I would get really, really apprehensive. Okay, he's traveling, I'll be very sad. And then he would come back and I'll be very happy. Then it got to a time when he would travel. I'll be so relieved. God, I'm alone, I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Then he comes back and I'm very happy for a few hours. And then I realize he's back. And then you're unhappy. It's not necessarily because he was doing anything. It was more because he had been away for so long. Some people do relationships and they can be away from each other. It works for a lot of people that way.
For
Some
you.
people, we're away, you're in another town, I'm in another town, our relationship is perfect.
Yeah.
For me, I can't do that. I always tell people who I've met who are just getting married and then maybe they live in another state from their husbands. I say, that's bullcrap. It doesn't work. Well, it doesn't work for me.
Do you still feel the same way about him like you did when you first
met him?
It's not that I don't feel the same way. But like I said, I was much younger. I was more tolerable. you know. I'm not as tolerable as I used to be.
Naturally.
So more often than not, a lot of things get more on my nerve than they would have before.
Okay.
So the feelings really haven't changed. I still do love him.
Okay.
I love
Or
him.
in a more matured
But
way.
yeah,
you
it's
know,
not a
someone-
do or die
Someone
affair.
mentioned to me, someone mentioned to me that, you know, after a while you need to begin to see your husband as your first child.
I don't think that's...
Maybe for some people it
Yeah,
would work, I guess.
different
Obviously
things
not for
different
you.
people, yeah. Different strokes for different folks. You should see your husband as... first, you should start off as friends and then graduate to... So that because you're friends, you know each other, you
Okay.
get... There are so many things you're going to be
You
able
talk
to...
about and
Yeah,
stuff.
and communication.
It's key.
Okay.
I'm upset, I
So
say.
friendship. No, so
Friendship.
friendship,
Bottom line.
friendship works
Yeah.
in a relationship. So what we're saying now is that for anybody that you're going to be with, you must be friends first and
First.
have some level of communication
Yeah.
going on. Brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us. Today we have been talking about the other woman, and we've heard from two different guests. One who's been in a marriage for 20 years, and one whose marriage ended after just 9 years. Are we coming to the conclusion that there's no sure way to make this right?
To deal with the other woman, you mean?
To deal with the other woman, to make sure that, you know, be it your mother-in-law, be it his cousin, your sister, friends, another woman outside, isn't there a sure way that we can keep our homes together? Because we know that a lot of marriages break because of another woman. The other woman.
Yeah.
How do we stop this? How do we say no to somebody else
how do
taking
we
away
deal
your
with it?
happiness?
Yeah. Well, I think first and foremost, in order to solve any problems, you must understand the effect of the problems. And I think we need to try and just, you know, highlight the consequences of the other woman. You know, once there's another woman, usually there's a triangle. You know, then follows heartbreak.
Betrayal of trust first.
Betrayal of trust, heartbreak, broken home, domestic violence. That's another thing that causes it. Emotional abuse, children suffer, you know. There's shame, financial insecurity. These are the things, I mean, this is just a few, you know, that we can actually mention. And then at the same time, let's highlight as well, who are these other women? You know, lesson teachers. You could come in from a lesson teacher,
Your
nannies,
Yes. Nanny's could be.
Friends.
A friend.
co-workers,
The
receptionists,
other woman is everywhere.
your family, your sister,
Everywhere.
the mother, the sister as well. So when you begin to look at the effect and where it comes from, I think then it actually takes our attention to, okay, now I know where the problem is coming from, and I know what this problem, the effect this problem will have on me. Now, how do I deal with it?
Can you call the other woman, in this sense, not the mother-in-law, not the sister, the real other woman, to a meeting and have a talk with the other woman? And,
Is that what you would suggest? I guess for some people it might work.
I think personally,
Actually,
I
I've
think
heard of
personally,
cases.
the other woman should not even be given an audience. Because the minute you begin to actually visibly understand and accept the presence of the other woman physically, then you're dealing with something. It's easier to erase it and get over it because there is still the aftermath of the other woman. So you deal with the person who's made commitment to you.
The way I see it, I have to be honest, the way I see it is that men will stray because we have taught them to stray. It's been accepted over the years. It's a normal part of our lives, whether we talk about it or not. So it's that you have a relationship, you're dating a boy, there's one story or the other, you guys will break up, you'll come back and you continue. It's always there. So in that case, sometimes when it's such a big, when it's such a serious, you know, as serious as the man wanting to move out, to be with her, to leave you, to damage his home that he created with you, something is wrong.
Well, you can't, I always say everybody has freedom to do whatever they want to do. But the thing is, I mean, in any relationship, you need to compromise. And sometimes you have to leave your excesses, you know, in order to compromise and everything. And when you look at people who are in the limelight, for example, with Victoria Beckham and Mrs. Clinton, they've been able to deal with it. However it is, they've dealt with it. And they've remained in their marriage.
Yes. Once you're friends first, you would know the likes, you would know the dislikes, you would know if my friend, it was my friend first, so if he was straying, he would have confided in me at some point. Then I know that this man has some tendency to stray, so it's no husband material for me. But then if he's somebody that really likes you as a friend, he's going to compromise for your sake. I think that's the way I will deal with it. I will deal with it talking.
Yeah.
We will have to go back to the beginning and rebuild the relationship, rebuild the trust, rebuild the love, rebuild the home. If a woman can do that, be strong enough to do that, I think you can bring back the man to the path you started.
Okay, well, we've been talking about the other woman today on Amazons, and it's been interesting. We've had, you know, an emotional roller coaster, so to speak. And if you're going through this, if this is what is happening in your home at this point in time, be strong. And if it was a love relationship, remember the man you married. You know him better than anybody else.
Yeah.
Use that.
Deal with it.
Get it. Deal with it. Accept it. Don't hide it, because the children know. So, thank you for being with us. We will see you soon.